Hey guys, it's that PU crew of Spinda and Raichu here, bringing you AML coach interviews. Today we are joined by Roggenboggen.
What's rocking and rolling, everyone? Roggenboggen here.
Yo, glad to have you on.
Pleasure to be on.
So this will be the first in the series. We're starting, of course, with one of the most beloved commissioners of the AML. So,
Oh, we love you, Rog. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, love you too, guys.
all right, Rog. So let's get into the questions real quick. So, how long have you been playing in the league format?
I have been playing in the league format since last May. My first league was actually the MHC, which was kind of like the baby league to the start of the AML.
I think. It
was a very enjoyable league. Had fellow commissioners, Shoe Warrior, Rio Prez, and Metza Hill all in there. That's kind of where the inspiration for the AML came.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Honestly, by the way you play, it's hard to tell that you only started like last March.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the experience kind of adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Rog. We know you are a very competitive person when it comes to the AML, and everybody really wants to know who's your biggest rival in the league.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, I'd say my biggest rivals are pretty much anyone who's beat me before. My upcoming match with Rio, every time we battle, it's always a very close match, so I'd say he's definitely one of my biggest rivals. I'd also like to say Hex, just because we've only battled once, and he beat me. But I always like to kind of aim for the guy who, performance-wise, does really well, and kind of like to set my standard to that, so I consider him a big match.
Yeah.
And yeah, then there's always that man with the bird spam, the John Flames. Definitely a great battler and a good rival, I would say.
Easily one of the AML favorites alongside yourself. So.
Absolutely.
All right, so keeping on with the AML, what's your favorite part of the league? Like, it can be with the people or anything else. Try and explain on that.
There's so much to go off of. I think my favorite part of the AML is just the way it kind of brings people together and how you kind of get to meet new people in the process. Like, before the AML, I mean, I really didn't associate with that many people in the competitive format, and then just each season you meet more and more amazing people, and it's just really awesome to just kind of like expand out a little bit and broaden your horizons. Like, it really brings out the best people, I think.
Pokemon community is really good for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like being part of the AML has been amazing for like me and Dowry. Like,
greatest experiences for us standalone.
Of course, it's kind of like you look at it where some leagues are just solely focused on battling in the competitive aspect, and there's so much more that can come from it than just strictly battles and score. Like, it's crazy. Some of our best members, aren't the most competitive, but they're still valuable members of the league, and I wouldn't change it any other way. You're not wrong.
All jokes aside. Rog, when we look at your roster for the Fighting Loons this season, there's a bunch of really big threats. You even have your own mascot on it this season with Braylon. We're really wondering, what do you think the MVP from the team is going to be?
Right after the draft, it was far different from my original game plan, Snipe City, as pretty much every draft goes. But I'm really happy with the final product of it, and I think the thing I like the most about it is because I'm not entirely sure who's going to be carrying the team. Like, last season, Sylveon definitely helped my team out, leading in kills, being a great support mon. Season 1, it was definitely Mega Gyarados just doing what it does, dragon dancing all over everyone's face. But, this season, it could be Manaphy with its tail glows. I mean, we got Entei, who just click Sacred Fire on everything. Or, you know, it could even be the clutch mascot pick that picked up 4 kills in week 1. Like, you know, I am very excited to use Breloom, especially this season. And just seeing how much work it put in the first week for me, I definitely see that trend continuing as the season progresses. So, you know, I think my top contenders for MVP are going to be my offensive Firewater Grass Core.
Good answer, good answer. All right, so as people know, the PABA is the D League for the AML. So, Rog, the question I want to ask you is, 4 battlers from the PABA, if you could match up against any of them with the current rosters, who would they be?
Ooh, with the current rosters, you say? Well, I got the chance to see all of these D-League coaches in action for our tryouts, and I have to say that, honestly, every single one of them really impressed me, like, with how they're battling, whether they win or lost. Like, the prep was phenomenal, the battling itself was amazing. Like, honestly, it'd be a pleasure to battle any one of them. If I had to pick my top 4, I would say Raptor, definitely. You know, he had a really strong showing in tryouts, and so far after week 1, I believe he won
3-0. He's dominating right now.
4. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, he had a pretty solid victory, and definitely in a dominating fashion. And, you know, my competitive self, I always like to go for the more competitive people, just because, you know, hypes it up, and it always makes for a exciting match. Other than him, definitely like Engo this season. His team was actually one of my more favorites of the draft.
Yeah.
You know, just because he definitely took a risk with that Mega Sharpedo pick, I think. But just looking at his team, you know, he's got Talonflame, Jirachi. You know, he's got great support mounts to go along with it. Like, I definitely see that team just working really well together, and I think it'd be a pain to prep for, but at the same time, it'd be really exciting to face. Absolutely. And, you know, the other 2 coaches I think I'd like to face, I'm going to have to give it to the 2 brothers, you know, Plasma and Bull. Like, I've known both those guys for a very long time, even before I got into, like, the competitive league format, and you know, they're both phenomenal battlers. They have really nice prep all together. And I really like their teams this season. They're really interesting. Like, they're not your traditional cores you would see or anything along those lines. And I'm just really excited to see...
especially.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm just really curious to see how their teams work for them this season. And I think it'd be
the nice thing with those
just really fun
teams
to battle those
they're
guys,
well
especially.
balanced to the point where you can still see the different things they can do. They're so versatile in the same sense that it makes for a fun prep.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, that's pretty much the same with any really well-built team. You can like assess the threats right away, but if you just don't prep for, like, let's say with Old's team, special Infernape, you know, hazard setting, Roserade.
I believe so.
I believe he has a Braviary, correct?
Don't quote us on that.
I think he does, yes.
Yeah, I mean, slap a choice band on that thing, it switches in Defog. I mean, you might as well just click X right there. Like, you know? He's just... And I mean, the same can be said for Plasma's team. I think it's definitely one of the most unique in the league. And, you know, at the post-draft power rankings, he kind of...
He got hit rather hard, I'd say.
I don't want to say low, but, you know, he was on the lower end of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I can definitely see it, you know, if it's solely team-based ranking, but I think he's definitely going to climb because he's got some serious threats. I mean, you got a beautiful core in Garchomp and Togekiss, and
it's not always...
You know, nobody likes him with Mega Slowbro.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially in this type of league format, you just wear people down with that Regenerator.
Absolutely. So,
well, solid picks.
Can we ask the league commissioner, Mr. Roggenboggen? I'm probably going to end up cutting this bit out because it's just dead air.
No worries.
Alright.
I could say something to make you cut out.
Alright, I got it. I got it. Alright, Rog, what's your
Ooh.
ideal final matchup for like you, of course? Who would you want to face in the finals?
Ooh. You know, we aiming for that finals, of course. I mean, I would want it to be the best match possible. That being said,
Ooh.
I would love it if in the finals I could face someone I've never faced
Mm.
before. So I would have to say Hydro, honestly.
Oh yeah.
You know, he had a very dominating season in the D League last season, which is obviously why we bumped him up to the AML. And, you know, he had a very solid week 1 win. I see that trend continuing as weeks progress, and I definitely see him as being one of the leaders of his division. So I think if I got to face him in the finals or even in the playoffs
I
in
would
general,
Thoroughly
like,
enjoy
I think that would
watching
be
that match.
so exciting.
I think.
Like, that would just be such a hype match.
Hmm.
I actually do play him in the regular season, but even
Oh.
after that, like, regardless of the result, you know, it'd be a completely different match. You know, it'd just be, like, pretty much like any finals, so much on the line, everyone's so excited. Like, I could definitely see me versus
Mhm.
Hydro if I had to play anyone in the finals.
I would
I
definitely
could see
agree
that
with
being
that.
one of the most enjoyable matches.
Coaches in the AML are allowed to have a co-coach on their team. Doesn't matter if the co-coach is from the PABA, if they're not in the league, if they're just a close friend. Who's your co-coach, and why did you think that they best suited your team?
Yep. Well, my co-coach for Season 3 is actually Quinn. He was a competitor last season in the AML, and now he is currently in the D League as another competitor. Quinn is definitely a really good friend of mine. We have great synergy, and you know we just agree on a lot of things, and we've always helped each other in the past with like team building and whatnot, just kind of bouncing ideas off of each other, and you know we have a really good thing going for us, I believe. He actually towards even before season 2 ended, he came to me and we were just kind of like, you know, just kind of talking around, just spitting ideas, and all of a sudden the topic came up of if he wanted to be my co-coach, and I was more than satisfied because honestly I couldn't think of a better person to be my co-coach that I just get along with so well. And like, even though we're only 1 week in, he's helped me so much. Like, we'll talk about team matchups, you know, what the bigger threats are, what to make sure we prep for. I'll kind of build a team, and then I'll bounce it off him. He'll give me his thoughts, and then I'll make the necessary edits or adapt to it as needed. And like week one, a big play from week 1 was putting Thunderwave on my Azelf and crippling Victini, which kind of just ran through my team. And originally, I didn't even have Thunderwave on my Azelf, but Quinn thought it'd be a good suggestion because you got threats like Azelf, Mega Absol before it Mega Evolves, Tornadus T. Like, it just seemed like such a good fit, and it came through giving me so much early momentum. Like, and yeah, I just think that's one of the many great qualities with Quinn. He's definitely willing to, definitely willing to think outside the box, kind of throw out something that I myself probably wouldn't think of.
As we get to the end of this
I think we just make a great team.
Thank you once again, Rock. But before you leave, we do have some rapid fire questions. Now, these are going to be some zero thought, one or the other, no questions, like no further explanation, real quick questions, a nice rapid fire round. We did get some of these questions from the GBA interviews, so if our viewers have seen those before. We picked up some of the questions from there, so if you hear something you may have heard on a different thing, don't quote us, they don't own it, alright? Flash will be giving you these questions, Rog, and good luck.
Alright, let's get it.
Alright. SD or DS?
DS.
Ooh, sweep or stall?
Sweep.
Toxic or Willow?
Willow. Easy.
Mock bike or acro bike?
Acro.
Okay, play competitive or play for fun?
Oh, definitely competitive.
GG or rage quit?
Oh, GG. Of course.
Technical team or creative team?
Oh,
Creative.
0 for 1.
All right, last question.
It's all
Flash or
good.
Del Rey?
Duh, I hate you. Flash. I'm sorry.
Rog, it's honestly been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for doing this with us, and I want to thank all the other coaches for letting me, Delray, and all the analysts be a part of us. I think I speak for all of us when we say that
That'll
it's
be
been
it
a
for
real
me,
honor
guys.
to work with all
if
you guys,
enjoyed, make sure to
and
click that
we
like
look forward to
button.
more of this.
If you want to see more from the AML and more
It's
interviews
been a real
with
pleasure,
coaches
and
such as
thank you
Mr.
guys so much for having me.
Roggenboggen of the Fighting Loom, then click the sub button. Keep up to date with anything AML. The more you know, because AML is always watching. Peace out, guys.